that's worried about the heat on this bike, you don't need to worry. DPL.
That is your launch control button. That is the one that sends you to hyperspace, just like in the Diablo 12.
Front brake, amazing. Same as the Panigale V4. Definitely changed these indicators to the Ducati Performance Parts indicators, a little tiny micro LEDs. This potentially is the fastest bike I've ever ridden.
About that in the launch of this.
Yeah, it does look like the Joker. I think you'd have to put some kind of protective heel guard on there, or turn that carbon perhaps, make those carbon, because they get very scuffed. I cannot believe how this rides down here. It's like witchcraft. It's incredible. Hey guys, hope you're all okay. You join me at Ducati Cambridge with Cameron.
Hello again.
It's been a long time.
It's been too long.
Mate, you've had this bike for
good few weeks.
Good few weeks. Yeah, good few weeks, and obviously, yeah.
And then we're shut down. So, yeah.
No one's been able to ride it, and well, it's not a problem. It's not running, but I will do a two-part video. Yeah. That's what I've done before. It makes sense to ride it when it's not running. I can just get used to it, have a little poodle around the country lanes, and just see how it feels. Exactly that. And go from there. So, yeah, I will do a two-parter and come back when it's running, which shouldn't be too long now. People can
say that. You say that. I think it's just short of 200 miles now. Hopefully you're going to put some on for me today, and then, yeah, due to the nature of the times we're in, so it's not going out constantly like I demonstrated feet last summer, but yeah.
You'll get there.
We'll get there. Oh, yeah, sure of it.
You're going to be.
Sure of it, if not,
customers are going to start to turn up.
I might just have to put some miles on myself, I think.
Yeah, you need to take it home, mate. You need to take it home. Right, over to you, buddy.
Perfect. So ultimately, Street Fighter V4 S. This one is an S model, so he's going to benefit from the lighter weight wheels and the Öhlins suspension. It's in Ducati's Panigale range, so it's not considered in their naked range, but they did want to consider it as their performance sport bike, but ultimately you just got the flat handlebars as well, hence why it can wear the Street Fighter tag.
Yeah, it does look wicked. I wasn't sure when I saw it at the bike show. I wasn't sure about the front. There's something about the front that I think it's the clock that sticks up a little bit, but actually in the flesh it actually looks better. Yeah. I think I saw it once, wasn't sure, but now I've been around it a few minutes, it actually looks good. The geek in me is obsessed with the Joker face as well. Ducati have made a big thing about that in the launch of this. Yeah, it does look like the Joker.
If you squint, you can get it. If you see the pictures on their website with the comic side by side with that, that's when it all makes sense. But if I had to try and envision that without seeing the comic first, I wouldn't.
No, mate, it does look good.
But I mean, the biggest talking point, let's be honest, right there, the wings.
Which give an insane amount of downforce at an insane amount of miles an hour.
More downforce, that's the key to it. So obviously for preventing the front end coming up, it's very important to keep the bike down. If you want the speed and the acceleration, that's key.
Yeah.
However, the little spin to that is Ducati have told us that it is also going to help disperse heat. So naturally with the fairings being gone as well, it's going to do that anyway.
Yeah, it won't be as hot as the Panigale.
It's just going to deflect the heat out and away.
Yeah, the wings look brilliant.
I mean, if there's any day to test it, it's today really.
Yeah, it's about 24, 25 degrees, guys. I will ride into town just to see how the heat feels compared to when I've been on my 959 or the V4 Panigale.
Electronic steering damper.
Made by
Öhlins, again, to complement the Öhlins suspension.
Lovely.
Non-S model, you've got the Showa big piston forks, so still really good fork.
Yeah, really good.
So, but yeah, with the S model, with the electronic Öhlins, same as like the Panigale V4 for example.
Yeah.
Still got the same flawless quick shifter up and down.
Oh, that's lovely on
that's
the
on both models as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So even
on Panigale, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Gorgeous quick shifter. TFT's the same.
Yeah, I'll just load that up for you so you can have a little browse. Hopefully it's not too bright, and we can see. There we go.
Yeah, it's the same as the Panigale.
Yeah, so you can adjust all the modes on the fly as well.
I guess you could probably eventually get a little screen just to smooth off between the headlight and the clock.
It's going to come, isn't it?
At some point, someone will make one.
But a very key thing I just want to point out to you is that button under there. Now, if you just move the camera ever so slightly underneath the button, you might be able to see
DPL.
That is your launch control button. That is the one that sends you to hyperspace, just like on Diablo 1260. Street Fighter's got it as well. Now,
Totally irrelevant, but
anyone brave enough to give that a go and just launch one of these. Obviously, I haven't. Don't think I ever will.
It's just
someone
there
else
because it's there.
And I can't wait to see a video of someone when they do actually do that, because that's going to be
crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Ultimately, it's built for acceleration, isn't it, this bike? So
yeah, and it might not be the total wheelie monster of the older Street Fighter, say, but
you look at everything that's in place to prevent that.
Yeah.
Wings, counter-rotating crane, the longer swing arm, that sort of stuff. But it's been built to be a fast bike.
Yeah.
And it is going to be a fast bike. 208 brake horsepower, and the weight it is going to be a.
Mate, it does look lovely. Stylema calipers.
Stylemas, yeah.
But they're standard now on so many bikes. Even some of the Triumphs have got them on. They're getting pretty standard.
But that's the S model and the non-S. With this, the brakes you're not compromising the brakes by having the non-S with the Street Fighter.
So yeah, it just looks wicked.
So smart. I mean, obviously, a tricked one of these. I mean, just imagine it.
What's the
exhaust?
The underslung full system? About £3,000 more. 4, 5.
It's the same as the Panigale.
Oh, is it?
It's the same exhaust.
Titanium full.
Yeah. So fitted, it's. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's sort of circa 5,000.
Yeah, £5,000 for a pipe.
The noise is priceless.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? If you can spend 20 grand on one of these, you're probably not going to quibble another £5,000 for a full system, are you? But I know this will sound brilliant, as every Ducati as standard sounds good.
Yeah,
they get it right.
Sounds good. I mean, I think the money in auctions with some people is going to go in other places. It's going to go in the usual. It's going to go in the tail tidy. It's going to go in the C. It's going to go on a few bits of carbon.
I would definitely Evo Tech tail tidy. I would seat cowl on the back. I'd probably, maybe turn them to carbon. Front mud guard, I'd probably make that carbon.
The battery cover carbon.
Is it the battery cover? Get rid of that, because that just looks, well, it is plastic, but it just looks too much red. So I'd get rid of that. Yeah, there's nothing else to do to it. Oh, I would put some bar ends on it. I'd get rid of these monster mirrors, as in they are from the Monster, and I would put some bar ends, some Rizoma bar ends on. Bar ends on this would look wicked. So yeah, there's not much to do. Ignoring the carbon, which is quite expensive, you haven't got to spend a fortune. Making it look mint doesn't take much effort.
Doesn't need it.
They're not really doing test rides, are you, at the moment?
We are via appointment only.
Yeah, so don't just rock up here, guys, at Ducati Cambridge and expect a test ride on this, because you won't get one. You've got to book ahead. Ring up and speak to Cameron if you're in this area, and he'll sort you out a test ride.
Always a pleasure.
Obviously, it's better to test ride it when it's run in, but you need people to test ride it to put the miles on it. Exactly. It's ironic. So guys, yeah, come and test ride this so we can get some miles on it so we can open it up a little bit more. But I'm still going to go for a run because it's a bit of fun. It's a lovely day. It's 25 degrees. There's my Super Duke R over there, which I've ridden here, and it's not running. I'm riding that at 6,000 RPM.
But so you can't wait just to go over 6,000.
Oh mate, I know. It's wicked. Right guys, just grab my lid and go for a ride. As I said, it's not running. I'm just going to take it easy in my normal little route that I do and see how she feels. Just first impressions. Just on some backcountry roads. Whoa! Oh, it does feel good. Right guys, as you know, or most of you know, I have a 2019 Super Duke R, as in KTM. I'm trying to run it in, so I'm keeping that below about 6,000 RPM, the same as this is being run in at. So I'm not going to compare that bike to this. I'm just going to tell you how this feels for me. Not comparing it to anything else at the moment. I'll do that in part 2, because this would have been running and my Super Duke would have been running. And I know my Super Duke isn't the new 2020 model, but I am going to do a test ride video on that at the end of June when my bike has its first service, so watch this space. So So acceleration, power, this and that, I'll do that in part 2. So first off, comfort. Feels, come on, feels really comfortable. It's probably, I'm a little bit more forward on the bars than I am on my KTM Super Duke. It's probably the same as my Monster in the sort of rider position. Probably the same as my S1000R BMW I had in 2016, 2017. So it's sort of sporty, but not probably as sporty a feel as a Tuono. So yeah, you are on your wrists a little bit, but not too bad. Right guys, just so you know, I'm 5'7". I've got about a 29-30 inch inside legs. I'm quite short legs. I'm not quite flat-footed on this, it's not far off. It's not a tall bike. And the position my legs are in, because they're short, is fine. If you were 6'5", you might feel a little bit cramped on this, but you might not, I don't know. Oh, it's so smooth. So, suspension is ultra comfortable. I can hardly feel any bumps. It's so comfy. Obviously, me getting off my Super Duke car, that's quite firm. It's quite a sporty setup I've got it set up in. So it's a lot firmer than this. But this feels, I'm in sport mode by the way. It feels lovely. Feels just sublime, the suspension. I've always said the suspension on the Panigale V4 is the best I've ever felt. Obviously it's electronic, so it should be good, but it's just, it's amazing. Anyone who's never ridden a bike with proper electronic dampers, what is that? Someone's tracksuit bottom, it's lovely. What was dead animal? So yeah guys, suspension is sublime. It's just amazing. Soaks up every little bump. Oh, another thing with comfort, the seat is so squishy. It's probably one of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat on. It's so comfy. Yes, I don't know after 100 miles if it's actually too soft, it gives you a sore bum, because I've known that before. A seat that's a little bit firmer is better on a longer journey, and a really soft seat starts to niggle you after a while. But obviously I'm not taking this on a long run, so I have no idea. Right, the engine, as I said, I'm running it in, so I'm taking it easy. It isn't my bike, but even if it was my own bike, I'd still take it easy, because that's how I run bikes in. Some people might say that's wrong, but that's how I do it. Yeah, I do rev it a little bit hard, you know, harder now and again, but just do what it says in the book, just take it easy. But the engine, it sounds lovely. All Ducatis as standard sound superb. I don't know how they get past the noise regs, but just unbelievable. It sounds so good. Bloody hell, it's got power, like serious power. It's so smooth as well, so smooth, not much vibration through the bars. The wind on my chest and the helmet isn't that bad. It's about the same as my Super Duke car. It's not as windy as I thought it would be. Maybe to do with the way the screen's sticking up at the front, as in the TFT screen. I'm not sure. just a proper weapon. The quick shifter, I know it's only done 195 miles, is amazing on these bikes, on this and the Panigale V4. It's so smooth. I thought the quick shifter on my Super Ducati was good, but that feel was really agricultural compared to this. This is just, there's just no jerkiness about it. It's just smooth as silk. It'll get better as it's done more miles as well. So yeah, it's just it's amazing. So yeah guys, just going to take it to town. There's not much traffic around because of COVID. At this point, normally on a fared bike, a V2 or a V4 Panigale, I'd already have started to feel the heat rising up out of the engine, up through the fairing. It can't dissipate the heat away from the sides that well because of the fairing, but on this bike it hasn't got any fairing, so I think the heat will just flow away from the engine more. And it's super, you know, I can't feel hardly, well, I can feel a tiny bit of heat at the moment, but nothing, no more than on my KTM Super Duke. Luckily, town's quiet. No, it's a one-way street. One way. What are you doing? Oh dear. Dizzy as anything. Luckily, she didn't carry on driving down this street while I was driving out of it. It could have ended with me laying on the front of her bonnet. I'm going to head back out of town now. I'm not going to ride around here anymore. It's pointless. Stupid woman. So guys, I'm pleased to report I can feel hardly any heat coming from the engine. Seriously, I'm not just saying it. If it was hot, I would say it was hot. I think my KTM Super Duke is actually hotter in town than this. That's incredible. I can hardly feel any heat at all. Not sure what the engine temperature is. It's 3 bars of 5. I can't see. But anyone that's worried about the heat on this bike, you don't need to worry, because there is yeah, when it hits 30 degrees, it's going to be probably pretty warm. But any bike's going to be hot at 30 degrees. But at 24, 25 degrees that it is today, I feel, yeah, feel comfortable. As I've just started to sit there for about a couple of minutes, I just started to feel a little bit more heat on the left side of my thigh, just a little bit, but totally acceptable. Really impressed. Right, I'm going to sit in this bit of traffic here just for a sec. There's a red light. Luckily I'm in the shade, but oh, one other good thing, so easy to find neutral, like super easy. It's just this gearbox with the quick shifter and the down blipper. Such a good gearbox. Saying that now, look, I'm back into neutral. See, I'm starting to feel a little bit more heat on the left, but nothing out of the ordinary at all. You wouldn't sit here and go, oh, my legs are on fire, which I have done before on my 959 Panigale when I've been in Spain. Super hot. And whatever foam they've used in the seat is really thick, so maybe the heat doesn't soak through that foam as much as the say the V4 Panigale. Right guys, let's head back out of town. I'll stop, have a chat, and have a little look around the bike, take a couple of pictures, and head back to Ducati. So I'm really pleased I've addressed the heat issue, because it's one of those things that people are always asking me about on the V4 Panigale, and this and that. Is it hot? Is it this? And yeah, I can safely say the heat that this is putting out then would not put me off buying this bike, whereas the Panigale range, depending on how I was riding it, it would put me off a little bit. But that's only when you're in town and slow, you know, slow speed traffic. When you're giving it some out of town, it's fine. There's no issue at all. no problem at all. One thing I did notice back there, I'm changing gear about 6,000 to 7,000 some of the time, and do it now. There's quite a lot of vibration through the foot pegs at about 6,000-7,000. Not through the handlebars, just through the pegs. As you change, it eases off. Obviously, you're building up the power, and the engine's under more load. It's going to vibrate more anyway, but just can feel a little bit of vibration through the pegs. But again, nothing to worry about. I'm just being ultra picky. I know on the road you're not going to spend, you know, much time between sort of 11 and 15,000 RPMs, but you know, the power's there if you need it. On the racetrack, I guess it'll be nuts, absolutely nuts. Yeah, just bang through the gearbox then. Oh, you just, yeah, look, just bang down the gearbox. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's me just changing at 6,000 RPM. It's just, oh, it's just superb. It's just such a tease that you can't give it a bit, but it doesn't matter. I've had a go on it. You know, I've been waiting a month to have a go on this because of COVID. No, I couldn't take it for a ride. So yeah, guys, the best thing to do, any questions you've got on this bike, put them in the comments below, and then I'll address them when I do part 2 of the video on this. That's the best thing to do. It could be the most stupid question in the world, and I will try and answer it in part 2. You know, I do real road riding. I don't go on racetracks. I'm just the average rider. And I'll answer whatever I can. Oh, one other thing I remember, unbelievably, for once in my life on a Ducati, the mirrors don't vibrate. How that's possible, I have no idea. They are the very strong, I guess they're aluminium. They're the big sturdy strong mirrors off the Monster, but on my Monster they were very vibey. This one's a little bit vibey, but the right hand side one, no vibration at all. So there you go, I found a Ducati that actually the standard mirrors don't vibrate, but I would definitely ditch these and I'd fit some little Rizoma bar ends on here, some little tiny ones. I've got bar ends on my Super Duke R, because the standard mirrors weren't too bad, but they were pretty vibey. But these mirrors, actually, you probably can't see through the right one, but completely stable. Left one's pretty much the same. Right guys, did a couple of photos. I'm going to get back on, head back to Ducati. I'm going to head up here down my really bumpy road that I use as a test route for suspension, just to see how this feels, and I'm guessing it's going to feel amazing. But just looking around the bike, just the detail, just the little Italian flag down there, they got it right. I think you'd have to put some kind of protective heel guard on there, or turn that carbon perhaps, make those carbon, because they get very scuffed. But there's lacquer on the tank that I noticed, unlike some of the lesser models where they don't bother with the lacquer as much, and the stickers are just put on the tank, and the tank's scratched really easy. But yeah, she looks great. As I would definitely change these indicators to the Ducati Performance Parts indicators, a little tiny micro LEDs, because these are just horrible. Obviously they look worse because there's no tail tidy on it, but right, let's get back on her. Another good thing, the stand's really easy to find. I'm noticing things as I'm going along. But yeah, the kickstand has got a little knobby bit that sticks out, a little bolt. You can get it with your heel, super easy, super easy. Right, right, let's head off this horrible gravel. Let's just head down the bumpy road. Right guys, this road is, they've resurfaced it, but usually it's so bumpy. Let's see how this feels. bearing in mind, guys, this is in sport mode, so the suspension's obviously in a sportier setting, I think. So it's not going to be the most plush riding bike down here, but let's just, some cyclists, let's just see how she feels. Right, let's just see on some of these bumps, because they are vicious. Oh, the wizards at Ducati have done it again. Yeah, they've done it again. I cannot believe how this rides down here. It's like witchcraft. It's incredible. You know, I'm doing a speed now, I'll tell you, I'm not going slow. And there's some serious bumps back there. That suspension is amazing. It's the same as the V4 Panigale. Yeah, so this is up there as the best bike I've ever ridden down that road, bar none, as in equal to the V4 Panigale. It's a silly road to come down, and it's abnormally bumpy, but do you know what? My Super Duke R, I know it's only got white power standard suspension on it, but that's not bad. But it still chucks me out the seat when I ride down there a little bit. Well, this did not chuck me out of the seat. Incredible. Yeah, I did think they were maybe going to put electronic dampers on the 2020 KTM Super Duke R, but they didn't. They upgraded the suspension to a new version. Not sure what it's called, but I'll test that in about a month's time. But even on this road, which is super bumpy, typically a car coming on this corner. Classic. Nice, right on the bend, lovely. This is rapid. Oh, it's like rush hour down here. I never ever see any cars normally. Well, super stoked that the suspension feels like that. It's how I thought it would feel being off the oh god, the hell. Right, luckily I've got somewhere to pull in, because he was not going to stop, was he? What I am impressed with is just how easy this is to ride. You know, even though I haven't ridden it fast or hard, you can just sense that it's just a really easy bike to ride fast, as a lot of new bikes are, to be fair. As I said, you know, I'm not the best rider in the world. I'm just the average bloke that rides for fun. I'm not out to do massive wheelies and go at mad speeds and stuff. I'm nearly 50 years old. I'm not about that. But this is an all-round bike. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm feeling a little bit more heat now. Been riding for probably an hour or so on my left leg. But as I said, it's probably no more than my Super Duke R would feel. And my Monster 1200 S, that got a little bit hot too on my, if I remember rightly, on my left leg. That was just the heat from the engine, wasn't the exhaust, because the exhaust is laid out differently to this bike. So yeah guys, if you live in a really hot country, you know, this engine might get really hot and might drive you mad. I can't tell you that. It's only 25 degrees here, but it hasn't got that hot. But the back brake, I just locked it up back there, just testing it out. The ABS kicked in. It's really sharp for a back brake. So guys, yeah, the front brake, amazing. Same as the Panigale V4. It's just, oh my god, you just touch it and you've stopped. I think the Stylima's definitely are the way forward on a performance bike now. I think even some of the Triumphs have got stylemas now, I think. Oh, so smooth. So smooth. It's amazing. Whoa! I only went just over 7,000 RPM then, and my head starts to get ripped back off my neck. This potentially is the fastest bike I've ever ridden. I'll find out in part 2 when it's run in. But the fastest bike I've ever ridden has been the Panigale V4. It's just mental. This delivers its power in a different way. I think this has got a little bit more low down torque. I think that's right. I think Cameron did say that to me earlier. Right. Do you know what? There isn't much I can fault about it. As I said, I can't even fault the mirrors. They don't even vibrate. Probably niggly little thing that I find, because I'm quite small, I'm gripping the tank with my knees. I've got quite a lot of weight on my palms. I'm quite a way forward because I'm quite small. My arms are quite short, so I do feel a little bit hunched forward and a bit less comfy than say on my KTM Super Duke. But that's just me being a short arse, so don't let that put you off, anybody. Yeah, the looks I'm not still sold on. The front with the clock, I think it needs some sort of little screen to blend in with the lights and the clock. It's just turned dark, the clock, obviously, because it's in under the trees. But so there's just the front. I'm not sure I quite get with the front, but it doesn't look bad. It's just a personal thing. You know, a bike like this is it's just a total personal thing. You know, you buy these bikes, you know, with your heart, not with your head. So, do you know what? I love this bike. From the suspension, it's brilliant. When I do part 2, I might pick out a few more niggly things that I don't like. But at the moment, it's very, very hard to fault. Oh my god, just went over 7,000 RPM then, and just started to just fly. Oh my god, I don't know how you'd use the power in the higher part of the rev range. You know, on roads like this, you'd have to keep banging down the gearbox and just staying up in the higher part of the rev range, because it's nuts. I pulled out that corner in 4th and just rolled on the throttle. So fast. And the brakes, oh my god, the brakes are nuts. They're just incredible. I wish I had these on my Super Duke. Oh, they're amazing, absolutely amazing. So guys, yeah, so the positives: looks lovely, sounds lovely, super comfy, mega fast. What is there not to like? I don't know. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to tell you what I don't like. Just the looks are a bit subjective, but you know, horses for courses. It's the only thing I can really say that I'm not sure about. Everything else, oh, I just love it. Oh my god, I can feel the power waiting to just smack me in the face, and then I change gears. Just incredible. Anyway guys, this has just been my first thoughts, nothing fancy, just having a little ride around town, a few country roads. how I feel about the bike, and it feels incredible, even better than I thought it would be. There is one question, you know, my Super Duke R was £8,000 cheaper than what this was, and my Super Duke R was a brand new bike, yes, a 2019 model, but it's still an epic bike. But this is 8 grand more than my Super Duke R cost me. Is it worth 8 grand more than my Super Duke R? Of course it's not, because the Super Duke R on the road is an absolute weapon. But you buy this for just the way it looks, the way it feels, just because it's a Ducati. It's just I don't know. Do you know what's brilliant? You can find the kickstand so easily. So guys, yeah, just to round up before I'd head home, yeah, I just think it's superb. The one thing that niggles me, I've just remembered 2 things that niggle me that I've forgotten about on the ride. First one is they have the cheek to fit a heated grip button and don't give you heated grips, but that's Ducati. And the other thing that does bug some people, I've got used to it now, it hasn't got a fuel gauge. You know, that can really drive people mad, but that doesn't really bother me. You just get used to it. You wouldn't not buy this because it hasn't got a fuel gauge. So guys, epic machine. Any questions, as I said, put them in the comments below, and then when I do part 2 within a month, hopefully the weather stays nice like it is, it's lovely, I'll come back when it's running and give it a few more beans, because the potential of this engine is insane. It's incredible. It makes my bike here, which is that Super Duke R, just even low down. That's got a bit more poke low down, up to about 3,000 RPM. But I'm not comparing the two yet. I'll do that in a different video. We'll take both these bikes out. I'll get Cameron can come out on that, and I'll ride my Super Duke. And I'm going to get a new tailpipe fitted to that soon as well. So watch this space. And we'll take them both out and ride both bikes and compare them. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the vid. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.